Executives from Columbia Gas testified before a U.S. Senate field hearing in Lawrence Monday to answer for gas pipeline explosions in September that left thousands in the Merrimack Valley without heat for weeks. And there are concerns about the safety of gas infrastructure in this region, too. Recently, two environmental groups filed legal challenges to proposed upgrades to a natural gas pipeline and compressor facility in Agawam. Rosemary Wessel, founder of No Fracked Gas in Massachusetts, and Jane Winn, the executive director of the Berkshire Environmental Action Team, spoke with me in the studio about their efforts.
FERC, as it's otherwise called, Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, this is the period in which you can file a motion to intervene. So we had to file within that timeline. And the project is part of a larger project, the Greater Springfield Reliability Project for Columbia Gas. And that and Tennessee Gas's part in it are concerning to us because they're proposing expansion of capacity of gas in the area. And we really can't stand to have an increase in capacity. It's against our Global Warming Solutions Act in Massachusetts. And actually the International Energy Agency has just warned that adding any new gas plants, any new gas capacity anywhere in the world at this point is harmful.
And so the environmental impact is your primary concern. What about safety issues?
Safety issues are paramount as well. With Columbia Gas having had the experience it had in the Merrimack Valley, the explosions that came from trying to fix the leaks, there's tremendous concern for here in Springfield. It's the same company. It's the same relative age of the pipeline system, and it's the same sort of repair oversight in place from Columbia Gas's parent company, NiSource. The NTSB just released recommendations on things that went wrong.
The National Transportation Safety Board.
Yes.
Yeah, they outlined all these acronyms. It's
an alphabet soup, yeah. They just released recommendations, and one of them is that the state of Massachusetts allowed the plan to be approved even though a licensed engineer was not used. So,
which I understand is not to excuse it, but is commonplace across the states. It's not something that's necessarily unique to Massachusetts.
Right, but it's something that shouldn't stand. I mean, you see the safety implications. This went particularly wrong in the Merrimack Valley, and now they're proposing the same sort of repairs in Springfield. So even just the repairs, which we would like to see done, those are concerning on a safety issue. And then talking about increasing capacity, that has health impacts. When you use natural gas, there are health impacts. It raises the rates of respiratory illness and especially asthma in children. Springfield is the #1 city in the nation for asthma rates, and this would contribute even more to that. So why are we expanding capacity? For environmental reasons, for safety reasons, for health reasons.
And so for you, Jane, Berkshire Environmental Action Team has also gotten involved in this. Why did you want to intervene as well?
Well, part of the reason is we believe this cannot legally go forward. We have a legal statute saying we cannot increase greenhouse gas emissions. This is saying it will add up to 72,000 decatherms per day of additional gas capacity. That's increasing greenhouse gas emissions.
And when you say there's a regulation, the state of Massachusetts has agreed that it's going to reduce emissions by 2020, right? Is that what you're referring to?
We have a legal requirement to reduce emissions by 2020 and then further, and that's been upheld under 2 different lawsuits, so that there is a very strong legal requirement that we think this cannot meet.
And so why intervene at the federal level when it's state regulators that would oversee this project if it were to go from proposed to actual?
Well, the trouble with having to go through FERC, the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, is they can override some state objections. So, taking action at every level has been very important. We also interceded at the MEPA level, the Massachusetts
Environmental Policy Act.
Thank you. Sometimes I need a soup translator. And for the same reason that there's a raise in emissions, even though they're taking out 2 compressor stations or 2 compressor turbines and replacing them with 1, the amount of compression is going up by about 4,000 horsepower. We don't know what that's doing to emissions, and they didn't file that information. They also tried to leave out the Longmeadow metering station off of that project. And there again, the state stepped in and said, no, you need to include it.
Right, they included that in
Right.
the environmental impact report, right?
And now in the FERC application, they've said again, this is a separate project. It doesn't need to be considered. So we need to push that point again, that yes, this is part of the same project. Tennessee Gas says it's not part of the same project, but Columbia Gas lists it as one of the components.
And I would like to say at this point, we did reach out to Columbia Gas and invited them to be a part of this conversation. They declined, saying that they're right now very concentrated on restoring safety in the Merrimack Valley and fixing things there. And Andrea Lupi, the manager of communications and community relations, said, quote, "Our attention is focused on restoring gas services to the Merrimack Valley area at this time."
Yeah.
So for you as environmentalists, you, Berkshire Environmental Action Team, BEAT, another acronym for us there, got involved in protests attached to the pipeline that was proposed in Berkshire County as well. And I'm sure there are people who are watching and listening to this and saying, you're from the Berkshires, this is happening in the Springfield area, why get involved in something that's happening in this region? Are you just opposed to every pipeline that could ever possibly be proposed?
Well, at this point, every pipeline that could be proposed in Massachusetts, I think, well, other than repairs, anything that increases capacity, it's not just the Berkshires. All of us are undergoing climate change, and it needs to be limited.
We talked briefly a few moments ago about this EIR, the Environmental Impact Report, and the state ruled, as you said, late last summer that both Agawam and Longmeadow's projects need to be outlined in that, and it pointed out that some of the impacts are that it's crossing 5 streams, it will affect wetlands, and impact some rare species habitat for at least 2 reptiles, and that's among some other things. Do you think that the impacts that were pointed out in that EIR are accurate?
Yeah, I mean, those are things that need to be taken into consideration. And hopefully it will also speak to the environmental damage that's caused.
And what do you think that that could be?
Well, there's emissions from burning the gas at the compressor station, first of all. And then there are releases of natural gas. And that's methane, which is a much more intensive greenhouse gas than carbon dioxide. So that needs to be addressed from the Global Warming Solutions Act front and from the general impact of, climate mitigation. And that rarely gets addressed, and it needs to be addressed.